Hey everybody, Jay Wade back here with another No Pause reaction. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'm joined once again by my mom for some more Ren. What's up, Mom?
Oh, nothing much. It's a beautiful day in Alabama.
Yep, it's not too shabby up here in Ohio either, so can't complain, can't complain. That and you and I are going to check out Ren's Money Game Part 3, so I'm sure the viewers will love that. What do you recall of High Ren? Because I've played that for you before. What do you recall of that?
Just how personal it was and how he makes the song come alive, how he did the setup for it.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. He's got a great team around him as far as videographers too. It's amazing. So, um we what was I was just going to say if you're watching this and you haven't already watched, she just reacted to For Joe by Ren. So check that out if you've not already done so. But I'm ready to watch this again. I've watched this video probably well over 30 or 40 times. Mom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, this is awesome. This is going to be some of the best art you've ever seen. You're going to love it.
Okay.
Here we go, guys. Ren, Money Game Part 3.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, investments invest in product. 20 double down deposits. 21 his income rockets. 22 he learns that truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23 a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24 he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25 and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26 a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27 dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28 inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31 a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32 moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33 filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34 turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. $35, he gets the call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive. We're parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. 45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
All right, Mom. What'd you think about that piece of art?
Wow. I mean, definitely a piece of art. I mean, it wasn't just the song, it was a whole message. It just, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. Such an expression, just every movement, every sound, everything he said was just ingenious in how he set it up. And to me, the wheelchair like represented how we cripple ourselves with the way we think sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he said in there, the truth is more important than all these other things. And I wish we'd get back to that, because that is a main thing. The truth is the most important thing. It may not always be easy, but it's so important.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how a society could function without truth. I don't understand how that would work out at all. And we already function at maybe a 50-50 level of truth right now.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, somewhere around there. Who knows? But he's just, yeah, him and his whole team that he's got behind him. Just, I mean, how many hours of rehearsal and choreographing. I'm making up all kinds of words today, I think. But the choreography, like how many hours and how many times do they run through that? Because I mean, you got to think about, it's like a play basically, and when you go through a play, like, you don't stop and then do another take. So when you practice a play, your rehearsals are running through the entire play from front to back. So in this, how many times did they do that before they even were like, okay, let's go ahead and start recording and start filming? It's just unbelievable, the talent and the hours that it must take for this.
Yeah, and musically, the piano always grabs me.
Right.
And he's very talented, and his voice is an instrument too. He knows how to use that as an instrument. And I just thought it was awesome.
Yeah. And I like the little things, like with his hand movements, you can tell a lot of it is him conducting the music, like giving them their cues and whatnot, which is really cool, because unless you're thinking about that angle, you're just thinking he's just being theatrical with his hand movements. But then when you look at what's going on around him and listen to the music, you're like, oh, that specific move was a cue for them to start. And there's other little things too, like when he walked underneath the two. Okay, back up. When he grabs the glass of champagne off of the tray and throws the money on the tray. Then he's doing his thing and he's walking. Then he walks underneath of the two guys who are shaking hands. It probably didn't notice, but that was his opportunity to set that glass down on the ground without it being obvious that he was not, you know what I mean? Because where else was he going to put it? He's in the middle of an open floor, and just that little move. And then when it gets to the part with the globe on the desk, and he spins the globe, and then the camera does a spin. So you're focusing on the globe and the camera spinning. What you don't notice is him reaching up and undoing his tie, because then after he gets that phone call and he grabs the bottle of alcohol, and he's he's moving as if he's intoxicated. His tie is loosened, and unless you're like, well, when did that happen? You know what I mean? So you noticed, I noticed that little thing, and then I was watching a behind the scenes thing with the gun. Like, he's loading that clip, but clearly he's not going to put a loaded clip into a firearm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when the camera, he brings the clip up and is loading it, and then once he puts in a couple bullets, or a couple of rounds rather, it pans down to the pistol. And when that happens, and I'm sorry guys, I watch this kind of stuff. I love this kind of little detail. So if I'm pointing out things to you that you'd not noticed before, I'm sorry. But when, as it starts to pan down to the gun, you see his hands start to go like this. That's where he handed it off to someone else, and they gave him an empty magazine. So that then by the time it came back up and panned back up on him, he had an empty magazine that we never knew that he got off screen in that, 2 seconds of time. So it's just all the
Yeah.
little brilliant things like that that are just, that are those little itty bitty details are the things that make it above and beyond what you see it for on the surface, if that makes sense.
It does. And like you said, every little move means something.
Mm-hmm.
And every quiet space speaks too. I
Yeah.
mean, he timed the quiet spaces to make a point. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing I thought about was what you tell your children means something. It makes a difference, good or bad.
Yeah, it really does. Especially at the younger ages, like where, he's 3 years old and his dad's like, yo, it's, you got to work hard for everything you want in life. I mean, that's a very young age to have a mentality like that pounded into your head.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was just awesome. I thought you would like this and appreciate this on more than just the musical level. So, all
Yeah, I
right.
really did. Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for joining me for it. I'm sure the viewers appreciate it as well. If you do appreciate it, and you would like to not only appreciate this, but you would also like to see my mom come back for some more reactions, slam that like button, guys. Let's get that going on. Hit subscribe, especially if you're a returning viewer and you've not already subscribed. We're on the road to 10,000. We're almost to 7,000, but we're on a road to 10,000. So be a part of our community here. And thank you, Mom, for joining me. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for asking me.
You're
And
welcome.
Mama says subscribe.
Yeah, they're right there. Say it one more time, loud and clear, just so they heard it for real.
Mama says subscribe.
Boom. There you go, guys. Thank you very much, Mom. And thank you guys very much for joining us. And until next time, have a great and safe night.